909, Big 550, KTRS. If you're going to the game tonight, you're going to want to pay special attention to who is throwing out the first pitch because we've got him here in studio. And every once in a while, a great story comes along, a great charity that's doing great work, and you want to give it a little bit of press, and that's exactly what we're doing here. Father Support Center CEO Halbert Sullivan. Halbert, welcome to Big 550 KTRS.
Good morning. Thank you for having us on.
Next to you is the Father Support Center Father of the Year, William Nelson. William, welcome to KTRS Radio.
Thanks for having me.
And William, you'll be throwing out the first pitch tonight?
Yes, I will.
Have you been practicing?
A little.
Okay, because they will boo you, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Good.
He used to pitch. He's got an arm.
Oh, all right.
He was
all right.
just telling me about that.
He's sandbagging us a little bit. Is what you're saying.
Yeah. He said he's got an arm and he's going to deliver some heat tonight.
All right. Good. Halbert Sullivan, tell us, what is the Father's Support Center?
Well, what we do is we impact outcomes for children. The agency was created 15 years ago to make sure that every child has the benefit of a responsible father in their lives. And we do mean a responsible father because our goal is to impact the negatives that children are faced with.
Tell us about this boot camp.
Oh, wow, man. I wish he wouldn't have called it a boot camp, but that's what the guys call it because we have a very structured program where we hope that we're inducing responsible behavior. We do a series of a classroom and therapeutic processes. We have family therapists on staff, social workers on staff, job developers, and parenting facilitators. Fatherhood, as you know, is parenting. So a lot of stuff is centered around helping the dad know how to properly interact with his child, okay? The responsible piece is to help him to understand that regardless of the nature of the relationship between you and the mom, you still have a responsibility to your child. And a part of the responsibility combined with the parenting is to help him to understand what goes on emotionally with a child when the dad isn't there. And so we'll go 6 weeks with our guys, 5 days a week, from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And we'll have a series of classroom components, mostly built around parenting. But we also have a piece called Healthy Relationship Skills Building, where we address domestic violence. Remember, we're talking about guys in our population who are often never married, non-residents, typically the deadbeat dad type. And so we're talking with him about how to interact with the mother of his child. You know, in our society, domestic violence occurs rapidly. The research says that a female will get beat up about 7 times before she chooses to leave. Well, once she leaves, he gets another woman. So the problem is not the female, the problem is him. So we work with him using therapeutic techniques to help him to understand more about how to relate healthily with a lady.
Once people complete this program, what are you finding with these men?
Well, first we're finding that our fathers really want to be involved in their children's life. That's the first thing that we find with our guys. The next thing that we look at is that the relationship between the mother parent and he changes, because what we've done in that 6-week period of time is we've helped him to get a job. And so he started to pay his child support, but he's also being more attentive to other needs. He'll come by with some tennis shoes. He'll come by with some school supplies, you know. We're helping him to become emotionally and physically connected to his child. And so after the 6-week process, we continue to follow this man for a year. And normally we'll do about 250, 300 guys a year. Typically around about 50 or 60% of that number will continue with us on a regular basis with follow-up, such as what William has done. William's been doing follow-up, though, for a few years.
I want to get to William in a second, but some of the stats coming out of this program are pretty exciting, are they not?
Oh, man, we've done a really good job with our stats, and it's based on that continuing contact, 5 days a week, 8 to 4 for 6 weeks. What we look at very closely is, first, is he involved in his child's life? 80% of our dads report that since coming into our program that they have become more involved, meaning that they see their children at least once a week. Not necessarily see them, but some contact. Either see them, phone call at least once a week. Of the men who complete our program, we get 75% of those guys placed into a job that completes our program. Now, it falls off with longevity. Only about 60% of those guys will keep a job for up to a year. However, those numbers are still better than the national average go, which translates into 60% of those who complete continuing to pay their child support, pay their taxes, and become more productive human beings.
Halbert, how long have you been doing this?
Man, I am the founder, one of the founders. I've been doing this for 15 years. We started this project related to some research I was doing at WashU while I was getting my master's degree, looking at non-contributing factors to out-of-wedlock birth. We began to look at the negatives that are associated with children who grow up in fatherless homes. There's a whole list. About 71% of those kids who grow up in fatherless homes drop out of high school.
Right.
About 70% of those kids get involved with drugs. 65% of those go to prison. And here's the most alarming stat. 82% of all teenage girls who get pregnant come from fatherless homes.
Say that again.
82% of all teenage girls who get pregnant come from fatherless homes. And this not only a real deep negative for those children that don't have the benefit of a two parents involvement, but it also keeps that cycle of poverty going on that we're combating in our society.
Tell us about William Nelson and why is he Father of the Year?
Well, William Nelson is Father of the Year based on William Nelson himself. When William came to us, I think he was in class 68. William came to us, he was just a little bit of a mess, little bit of a chip on his shoulder, had a few issues that he had to deal with. And we deal with issues. That's why you call it a boot camp. We deal with issues. But William also adapted rapidly. We have some structured things that we have guys to go through. You know, you can't wear a hat on in our building. There's no sagging pants and long T-shirts. None of that goes on in our building. And we also want you to be attentive. Well, William, he made some adjustments, and I might let him tell you about that. But what he did once he completed that program, first he got a job. And what we believe in is work first. Now, I would like for every man to be able to get a job paying $15, $20 an hour. But if you don't have a high school diploma, you don't have a skill, you don't have a work history, we'll get you a minimum wage job just to get you started. Well, what William did was he took his job and he went to another level on his own. After working where we got him for a few months, he got a job at Grace Hill. And as I mentioned earlier, what we require is that the men report back every month. Well, William was reporting back so much till we thought he worked there at Father Support Center.
It was like Kramer. He wouldn't go home.
And he volunteered his services while at the agency, and he carries the Father Support Center message. In other words, he let other men know what is possible if you get involved in this program.
William, what happened to you with this Father Support Center? What was it that touched you?
It was the way that the man in there was very positive. They took time out to speak with you, and they was just honest. And that's very hard to come by with men that you don't know.
It was the first time in your life men treated you that way?
I wouldn't say the first time, but it was the first time men that wasn't part of my family treated me as though they was family.
And so that really touched you?
Yes, it did.
Yeah. I guess this is the first time a lot of these men have had father figures who have sort of taken them under their wing and showed them, I don't want to say tough love, but love and a sense of purpose in a sense.
The vast majority of our guys, somewhere around 80%, come to us having not had a dad in their lives. And we're working with guys who are between the ages of 18 to about 40. You know, that's the average age range. And they never had fathers in their lives. They didn't have responsible uncles in their lives. And so it's very difficult, as some great person said, you have to see a man in order to know how to be a man. So the same thing applies for a father and for a husband, you know.
Halbert Sullivan, the founding Fathers Support Center CEO, what do you want people to know? How do you want them to get a hold of you? What's your lasting message for this?
Well, I like for people to know first that dads are important, and they do impact the outcomes for our children. The phone number at Father Support Center is 333-4170. You can also touch us at our website. It is fatherssupportcenter.org. all one word, .org, fathersupportcenter.org. For any man who desires to be involved in his child's life, please contact us.
That is Halbert Sullivan, the Fathers Support Center CEO. 15 years, you said
15 years. St. Louis community has supported this for 15 years.
Congratulations on that. William Nelson, good luck tonight throwing out the first pitch. It'll be the moment of your life, chance of a lifetime, huh?
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to make sure to pitch it very good and hope they can catch.
Are your kids going to be there?
Yes, they are.
Oh, good. I'm happy for you. The Father Support Center, Father of the Year, William Nelson, throwing out the first pitch, and Halbert Sullivan. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.